Hey, what's happening? It's your dude, the merciless Reese L. Black. Welcome back to the booth. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do so. Today, I wanted to go ahead and touch on something a tad bit deep that has been ongoing, of course, in this space here. I want to talk about why you don't want to date black women anymore. I know in this certain space, we actually have other platforms where we actually have sisters that are saying black men are trash, or, you know, level up, date outside of your race, swirl nation and all of that jazz here. But also we have other platforms of men while they are expressing their concerns on why they stopped dating black women and why they felt that it was better for them to pretty much just date outside of the race. It kind of sucks because a lot of this is happening because we have men just making a social statement just like the ladies have. Don't get me wrong, your flavor is your flavor. You could date whoever you want, whatever makes you happy. But if you're telling yourself, I don't want to date this particular group just because of XYZ, yes, it does come off as prejudice. There's someone for everybody, as I pretty much, said before. I wanted to go ahead and take a step back and do my best to analyze this. So let's go back to the beginning. As young black boys and girls, we were raised to be equal. A lot of us were raised in the same infrastructures. Hell, we even got our ass whooped the same. If one person did something, they got their ass whooped, you kind of got your ass whooped just because you allowed them to do it, right? And also, let's take a look at black men for a moment. Black men have been raised to be instructed by women. Yes, when it comes to the black community, majority of us were a part of this matriarchy. We were raised in this matriarchy. In the streets, in the neighborhood, churches, school, this is how it was for us. So no matter where we turn, we got told what to do by a black woman. Mom, grandma, auntie, hell, your older sister. I even said on an episode of the Carbonauts Rawcast, I made a point where I said, sometimes I feel like we're the only race of men that probably have the most older sisters because we were always instructed by these women. And then when we get to school, we're instructed by more women. When we go to church, we're instructed by the usher. On the way home from school, we're instructed by the bus driver. Hell, when we're going to school, when we get there, the crossing guard. We are always told what to do by sisters, especially if you grew up in the black community. Hey, it comes with it. But now just imagine you're going through school, you're growing up. Yeah, you're being the badass little boy. You used to be musty, you used to pee on yourself and all of that jazz. You used to clown around in class. And now pass all that and move on forward. You're an adult. And the same little girl that knew you your whole entire life, whether it's from the sandbox or just starting out high school, they seen you at your worst as a teen. But now you end up reuniting with this same sister 10 to 15 years later. You see her, you're like, hey, what's going on? It's Reese, how you been? You looking fly. She sees you like, hey, wow, look at you, got it together. That's right. Young man, well established, looking good, filled up, suited and booted. And the moment he just says, yo, we should go out, like, let's catch up. You're going out, you're catching up, you're having these conversations. You're talking about pretty much, you're interested in what she is doing now. What is she doing with her career? How was college? Things of that nature. Who are you dating now? And it's interesting because she remembers when you were a boy. I remember when you used to be musty. I remember when you used to pee on yourself. I remember you used to be a little crybaby and everything. And of course we laugh it off, but it kind of sucks when the ladies always got to bring up the worst parts in our life instead of just looking at what we got now and just focusing on that so we can move on forward. But it is what it is. And the next thing you know, these two people may start dating, but they may not see eye to eye. He tries to play the role, his man role. He's prepping to be that husband. This is what he wants to be. He believes in leading his household. He believes in being the best man he can be, probably paying for everything because he feels like, hey, this is my role. And what I need you to do as my woman, I need you to be inspirational. I need you to be feminine. I don't need you to always get on my back about something. I don't need you to supervise. I got this. She may look at it as kind of like disrespectful of what you just said. Like, who the hell do you think you are? I remember when you wasn't shit. Unfortunately, as black men, a lot of us have caught this growing up. That's why some of us, we do our best to try to date other sisters who we never knew or who just didn't grow up in our town, because we don't want that past strife coming up. We don't like being reminded of when we were at our worst, you know? So now we decide we're going to go elsewhere. And then we do. But when we end up start dating more and more sisters, we always run into that one sister who kind of feels that we remind them of somebody who they were already with. And it reminds them of that bad experience, which is not our fault. You could say we just caught them at a bad time. We don't know. But it's just another excuse of why she doesn't want to date you. So what you end up doing is you move on, plenty of fish in the sea, but you find out that there are different types of sisters with different types of mentalities. Now, you probably ran into the so-called sister that was good in the beginning, but turned out to be, down low ratchet or something, or down low disrespectful, or they became a liar, or they became manipulative. You keep on running into these women no matter how hard you try. And then you just realize, you know what? I'm done. Usually most brothers stop dating sisters after they get out of a bad relationship. And usually they tend to end up being in a relationship with somebody that was not even suitable for them, which is very unfortunate. So when they leave the so-called chocolate city and start dating outside of other races, they get hooked. Because one of the things that they end up running into when they feel that they end up dating, that they feel that this new woman is doing, who is non-black, sees them as a man, sees them as masculine, sees their ambition. They see that he is handling his business. I know there's going to be an argument about, wait a minute, all brothers ain't like that, but it's like, yeah, because you keep on running into the brothers who aren't like that. But these brothers over here, they got it like that. And I know there could be an argument, well, the brothers who are well established, they are not even husband material. They be on the bullshit too. Let's just keep all those arguments aside and just concentrate on the genuine man who has just had difficulty dating sisters. But he's not having difficulty dating outside of his race, especially if he hasn't changed who he was. He's still the same smart man, the same ambitious man who wants to make himself better, although he sees himself as great already. But this new woman who happens to be non-black sees this and falls in love with it, to the point where, guess what? Her femininity is embraced with his masculinity. He may not have been the most masculine man for you, but to this Asian woman, to this Latina woman, to this white woman, to this non-black woman, she has seen a man. And I know there's these other platforms out there that be dogging women like this, but they see a man, and you can't knock that. He can either reject it, or he can go ahead and give it a shot. And a lot of these brothers are giving it a shot. They are embraced. Women who are non-black, they see us and they're just like, oh my God. Yes, you could say it could be fetishized or whatever argument you want to make, but these men are wifing up these women. There's really no refusal here. If there is a rejection, it's a nice rejection. There's no attitude involved. It's just mainly like, oh no, not interested. Or they just laugh it off and they just run off or whatever. They're not seeing too many games as much as they felt that they were seeing with the sisters over here. But let me go ahead and express this right here. This video is really not to encourage anybody to date who, outside of their race or whatever. No, I just wanted to go ahead and give an observation and an explanation on why brothers have felt like they wanted to give up. Brothers have been dating sisters their whole entire lives. But the thing is, the more mature they have gotten, the older they have gotten, they're just starting to see things over and over again that they just feel personally is not fit for them. If they feel that they are not being respected, especially if they are giving respect, especially if this is the guy who you guys call a square that you guys don't want anybody to deal with anymore because he's too much of a nerd. Too much of a nerd. He doesn't have enough swag. He's a square. He's not edgy. I might just go ahead and use him as a trick and, he's a pushover. I might let him buy me some shit, but as far as hooking him up and being with him, nah. He has observed that energy and he has moved on elsewhere. He was looking for that black woman, regardless of where he was looking for. He has not found the sister that he wanted to date. So therefore, he exercised his options. And he ended up running into the woman who sees him as a good man. And he sees this woman as a good woman. That was all he wanted. Yes, some of these brothers do feel like, damn, how come I couldn't get a sister like that? But at the end of the day, he found a good woman. He's going to stay with that good woman. And yes, he's going to be hated for dating this non-black woman and wifing up this non-black woman, but no one saw him as just wifing up a feminine woman. That's all he wanted. It's not that black men just stopped dating sisters. Most black men just stopped dating women who weren't feminine, period. They want a feminine woman. If they are the same race, hey, that is a super duper plus. And honestly, as a black man, that is really what we typically look for first. A feminine sister. But we want a feminine woman. And a lot of these brothers, they feel that they found that. Regardless if you guys want to go ahead and make the point, it's like, whatever, he probably just wants to control her, or he's weak, he don't want a strong woman. Strength comes with resistance. So if you're the type of woman that kind of feels like they need to always go off on a man because you feel the need needs to put them in their place or whatever, that's not strength. The strength is holding back, not saying anything, controlling yourself, and listening to his explanation. But we understand a lot of you sisters probably don't want to deal with this type of guy anyway, because you guys really be banging on the black men that you guys wouldn't date anyway. But he found his feminine woman. So in any case, it's not that he stopped dating sisters or he doesn't want to date sisters anymore. He's just telling himself, I don't want to date women who are not feminine anymore. It just sucks even to me that society looks at the sister as the most masculine woman out of the rest of the nations of women. But anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and drop this quick little vid because that was on my mind. And anywho, you know how I do. I'm out this piece. Good evening, Mr. Black.